All right, we're back again for Different Kind of Genius. I'm your host, Andre Kufe, and we're here for another week. This week, it's always someone special. This time it's someone special again, and she represents Geelong very well for everything she does. With me, I've got Tiara. Tiara, say what's up.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
That's all right. Thank you so much for coming as well.
Thank you for having me.
I know we had to shuffle things around a little bit, but it all worked out in the end, and I couldn't thank you anymore.
Thank you.
All right, let's just jump straight into it, I guess.
No worries.
So what, I obviously know what you do, but what does Tiara get up to?
So, music is my thing. So, I am a singer-songwriter from the Bay. And I've just only recently started sort of making a name for myself. So, this for me is a perfect opportunity for people that don't know me to get to know me and, realize that I'm here.
And I'm human.
Yeah.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So run us through that. You're a singer-songwriter. What sort of songs do you make?
So, my genre, I suppose, is I've thought about this a lot and sat down and thought, what is my genre? And it's kind of like R&B is my genre, but I would like to say more alternative R&B because I don't want to be boxed in a specific genre. I love to kind of explore other things, and I think alternative R&B is kind of a way to explain my music, so it's not so boxed up into one. Obviously, R&B is my roots. That's what I love. That's my vibe. But the alternative part kind of makes it a little bit more open to everything else. So. Yeah.
That was a good answer for that as well.
Yeah.
I'm not an R&B singer like everyone else. I'm alternative R&B.
Yeah, and it kind of gives me space to kind of explore other avenues. I think if I said I was solely R&B, then it's kind of really keeping me in one box. So I like to explore, pop R&B and have different sort of genres come into play. It kind of doesn't limit my creativity.
True. Which is that's the best way to look at it as well.
Yeah.
And with your songwriting, do you do that for yourself or do you do it for other people?
I do it for myself.
Yeah.
100%. So everything that I've written so far comes from my own personal experiences. It can come from things that friends are going through. Mainly the songs that I've written are from my own personal things that I've gone through.
True.
Which is quite daunting, obviously, because when you write something and you're putting it out in the world, you kind of feel a little bit exposed, I
Interesting.
guess. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I think that I also think that writing something from my personal experiences it makes it more genuine and people can really kind of feel it and vibe to it a little bit more because that's coming from a place where I have gone through it, I've experienced it, and I've felt the emotions and everything. So I feel like that's sort of real and raw. Whereas if I'm kind of writing to what I think other people will want, and then I haven't gone through it, then that would make it kind of not real and authentic, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, people aren't able to relate.
Exactly.
And then if you're explaining an emotion that people know about, and you put it on, people be like, hold on, that's not true to how I currently feel right now.
Exactly. And when I write from something that I've gone through, I can really delve deep into what I'm feeling and what I've gone through and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's probably portrayed better that way, that I write something that I've experienced. Yeah.
Well, then, it's important too because you're telling the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
And the world we live in now, it's if you're not telling the truth, it gets exposed really quickly.
100%. And people can feel that. If I listen to an artist that... So, for example, on the weekend, my friend Rachel, she showed me a song, right? I've been listening to this song for about 6 months and I love it. Then my friend said, oh, did you know this song is actually written about her friend and what she's gone through? And so because I knew that, I sat down and I listened to it properly and I thought, I had a whole different respect for the song, and I listened to it knowing that she was singing about this particular person, and it kind of gave me a better appreciation for the song because I sort of knew that where it was coming from, if that makes sense.
I get you.
So yeah.
But then if you flip it, if it goes the other way and it's just
if it's something that I'm so if I wrote a song and I haven't been through the situation, or I don't know the person that has been through the situation, and I'm writing to please an audience, I feel like people are going to listen and look at that and not be able to kind of feel the emotion and feel the song, because I'd be disconnected because I don't actually know what I'm writing about, if that makes sense.
I get you.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like you said something there that's really interesting. Writing to an audience, or like doing something for an audience.
Yeah.
Do you relate to that at all? Like, have you ever felt like that in your music process?
Felt like...
That you've had to do stuff just for the audience?
Well, so at the moment, I have wanted to write a song that is really upbeat and really like, club vibe, kind of, fun and stuff. And I have sat on the one thing for so long because I think that that's what everyone wants, an upbeat kind of up-tempo song that people can kind of party to.
Mm-hmm.
And because I have not really, the stuff that I'm writing at the moment is kind of more like chill, like, a
It's
bit
an R&B
emotional.
vibe.
It's an R&B
Alternative
vibe.
R&B
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah. But because I am trying to write this upbeat party song that I think people will want, it's not really like nothing's coming out. So I need to sit on that for a little bit. But that's kind of my example of me trying to write to what I think people would want.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not happening.
Yeah,
It's really not happening.
Well,
but it'll happen one day when I'm in that right vibe and stuff. But yeah.
But then
at
the hardest
moment,
thing is, how do you know what they want?
Yeah.
Like,
well, and
it's
that's
like,
true.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like you're making that up as you go along.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like thinking that that's what people will want. And I think that my thing with wanting to write an upbeat kind of like fun song is that when I perform, I want the crowd to kind of, be partying and be upbeat and stuff. So that's just where I'm sitting with that. And I don't want to just release anything.
Yeah.
So I want to sit on that for a little while and see what I can come up with.
Yeah, like when it's got your name on it, you need to be proud of it.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
And you said something else before. The daunting experience about putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
what does that feel like for you?
Well, so this year, it's been like a month now. So I've had my EP out, Heat of the Night, for a month now, and that's my first ever time that I've ever released anything.
Oh, so was that your first full project?
First ever release into the world,
Ooh.
Which was pretty scary for me because obviously, like, being my first release, there's 4 songs on the EP, going into the world, stories that, I've been through and everything like that. And I think that, like, being someone that kind of, like, everyone sort of knew I did music and everything, but never had heard anything that I had sort of written. And obviously, like, written about things that I've gone through. So that's really a daunting experience because, especially number 1 being the first release, and number 2, like, it's pretty much my personal diary going into the world.
True.
So, yeah.
And I guess,
pretty scary.
That would be... Because I can only speak from, like, my own experiences.
Yeah.
And it's still weird because, like, we're up to episode... I think 16 just came out last week.
Yeah.
And I still get, like, weird about it. Like, every time I go to put all the posts up, like, there's this party that's like, am I going to fuck this up?
Yeah.
And then it's weird, like, you've just got this weird insecurity about it.
100%.
And then the minute you've posted it, it's like,
Yeah.
it's left your hands now. So
But that's the
nothing you can
thing,
do.
like, prior to me, so, like, it was the night before I released Heat of the Night EP, and I was sitting there and I had so much anxiety that had gone through me and so many things that are like, oh my God, like, what are people going to think, blah, 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 blah. And then I kind of really... I tried to get into the headspace of, like, who cares what people think? Like, it does not matter. I was proud of the work that I did, and I worked really hard to get to where it was. And I think that I would have stuffed myself up by psyching myself up too much, thinking about what other people would think. So instead, I kind of got myself into the mindset that I'm proud of the work that I've done. So if people like it, amazing. If people don't like it, then... fuck them. Do you know what I mean?
No,
like,
but it's the truth.
Yeah.
And you need to think like that, especially in the, like, for what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Or for what anyone does, to be honest.
Anyone that is doing something creative, I think that, like, it's scary putting it out into the world, but at the end of the day, who gives a shit what anyone thinks? As long as you're proud of the work you do, however anyone wants to reciprocate that, that's up to them.
100%.
Yeah.
And then like the internet's such a big place now where it's like someone will find your stuff and they'll like it. Like there's room for everybody.
Yeah.
And then not only that, at the end of the day, even though you were feeling that way, you don't really hear any criticism about your project.
No.
Or at least no one tells you directly to your face. So it's,
I mean, I've had my first hate mail, but it wasn't anything like, it was kind of funny actually, but we won't go there.
you don't want to go there.
We won't go there.
Oh,
It was
I want to
funny.
go there because that sounds funny as.
It was pretty funny, like, but it was from someone that had not heard my stuff. They'd only seen a photo. And they I don't want to give them any I don't want to give them any light. So let's not go there. But that was kind of funny. But the love and support that I got from the EP was incredible. All that anxiety and everything that I had the night before it released, I was like, it had gone and everyone was messaging me and everything. And it was really beautiful because, I felt like the work that I had put into that was really appreciated.
And recognised.
Yeah, and recognised. And that's all I really wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No. I just can't get that out of my head. I'm like, how did she have a dig at you without even hearing your music first? That blows my mind.
It's internet trolls.
Yeah.
But it's all good because I didn't know her and she didn't know me. She was from the other side of the world.
True.
So it was pretty funny. But I was kind of I text my girlfriend and I'm like, oh my God, and she was laughing and she was like, you've done it, you've made it,
Because that's what she was about to say. I was like, there's something to that. Like, if someone's gone out of their way to express hate at you, it's like, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing something that person feels like they can't do. So now they have to go out of their way.
And that's the thing, it honestly didn't faze me because, number one, she actually didn't hear my stuff. She only commented on a photo and how can you, it was funny. But, I looked more at the love that I got from the EP and everything, and everyone was so, so supportive. And, just little things I notice every time someone shares something of mine or, reaches out to me and everything, you don't have to do that. You don't have to share that. You don't have to take the time of the day to message me or anything, but I notice every single person that did that, and that's amazing.
And none of that, it means the most.
Yeah.
When people do that, because as you said, you haven't told anybody to do any of this, the fact that they're doing it, it makes you feel a type of way because you're like, thank you for at least supporting me. And then in the world we live in now, that's how you have to be supported.
Yeah.
Now that you can't be buying albums off iTunes, et cetera, it's
and that's what we rely on. People sharing it, people listening to it.
Liking and commenting. It's corny as all of that is, for a creative, it's that's what keeps us reassured that we're on the right track.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
No, and then it's just unfortunate how you can hear 99 positive things, but that one negative one, it sits.
But I kind of took it she was kind of jealous. I don't know how else to take it. Do you know what I mean? Not sounding cocky or anything, but why I felt kind of sad for her because I was like, you must be in a sad place to go out of your way to make someone else feel bad. What has happened to you for you to think that that's, okay. But anyway, we won't give that too much more.
No, no.
We won't stay on that topic much longer. Yeah.
But no, that would have been exciting. And then, so you just dropped your first EP.
Yeah, I did. And that was insane. Obviously spoke about the fact that I was really anxious about it and everything. But at the end of the day, the support I got was amazing. And I'm proud of that. And now I just want to keep working. It kind of gave me the motivation to keep going and pushing harder and getting more music out. It took a long time. My EP, everyone can probably say that, it took a long time, and I was always yes, it's coming, and it took ages. But now that it's finally out there and I've got content out there, I, classify myself as an artist, I was always a singer, but never really had anything of my own to kind of show.
True.
People would come up to me and be like, oh, what do you do? And I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter. They'd be like, oh, can you hear your stuff? And I'm like, well, no, I haven't got anything yet. So that was a bit hard. But now that it's finally out there, I feel I've got 2 feet to stand on, and, I know who I am. And from my first release, I can just work up, all those songs that I wrote. I had written a year prior to releasing it. So I feel now that I'm in a position where I can kind of write better and come up with stuff that is more sort of my vibe. I think when I wrote those songs, I was still sort of trying to find my own vibe and what I wanted to write about and all that sort of stuff. But now that that's out there and I'm sort of starting to write a little bit more, I know what I want to release.
But that's growth.
Yeah,
And like the
yeah.
only way to know that is like to put out the first project.
Yeah.
And then not hearing negative comments, but like critiquing it.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
there's just little things that you learn. You're like, oh, like this could have like
Yeah.
there's certain areas that I could have improved on.
Yeah.
And then for your next time, that
Yeah.
makes it so much better.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
And then and then there's another interesting thing you said there, that you finally know yourself. Like how did you know yourself?
So I suppose what do you mean by that?
So like you said, you know who you are now. You've got
Yeah.
your own 2 feet to stand
Yeah,
on.
I do. I think what I sort of meant by that was because now that when people approach me and, go, oh, what do you do? And I say I'm a singer-songwriter, I've got some stuff that I can show them.
Oh, I get you now.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like I've got material to be like, oh yeah, I've released an EP, this is my work, and instead of saying I'm a singer-songwriter and they're like, oh yeah, so are you on Spotify or anything? And I'm like,
Yeah, and then like it puts you in
Yeah.
this position.
And
Then
I'm
all of a
like,
sudden.
no, but I can do it.
Yeah.
So I think that, what I meant by that was now when people ask me and when people approach me and say, like I've had people approach me wanting to work with me and stuff. And prior to releasing the EP, I didn't really have anything that I could be like, oh, yeah, here's my material.
Yeah.
This is what my vibe is and this is what I've kind of come up with and what I've worked on. So prior to that, it was really hard for me to give people examples of my work and everything. But now that I have the EP, it's on Spotify and everything. That was a clear plug.
Yeah.
Now that I'm on Spotify and everything, I can show people the work that I've done. So if people want to work with me, they can be like, oh, okay, and listen to my EP and then realize that, that's my vibe and everything like that. So, yeah.
Which is important because then it allows people that feel a similar type of way to like can now gravitate towards you because they're like,
Yeah.
that's who I want to work
Yeah.
with. Like this is the sort of thing
Yeah.
I want to be doing.
Yeah.
And then I guess just on that, so you've got your EP and then like I'll throw you the alley-oop here, but visually now there's something that comes with it.
Yeah. So I think it was about 3 weeks after I released the EP, I released Heat of the Night visual. So that had been done like 6 months prior to even releasing it, probably even more. So that's been kind of sitting there in the bank, ready to kind of like let out into the world too. So I think that it was perfect to release the visual a few weeks after I released the EP as well, just to give people some sort of visual. I love the idea of a music video because it kind of gives a visual sense of what the song is about. And I think that's really special. And so, yeah, I released that and I got an amazing feedback yet again, which was really perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. So, yeah, that's out in the world. So give that a watch.
No, but then you said something that was really important. Like it's true. It is a visual representation of the song you've created. And I think for me anyway, it makes a massive difference where like I'm like one of those old heads for music. Like I will listen to an album like back to front.
Yeah.
And then if like just for the structure. And then if the video clips come out, like it allows me to paint a picture to almost the rest of the album.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like you kind of can get a sense of the vibe from
Yeah.
what they've been saying where you're like, this is what the rest of the album looks
Yeah.
like.
Definitely.
And then on that, in the world we live in now, it helps like putting a name to a face.
Yeah.
Or like at least like a face to like a voice.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like we can hear everything on Spotify, we can hear everything on iTunes. When you have a film clip as well, you're like, that's the reason this person is the way they are.
Yeah, and I feel like I got a really good response. It was interesting to see the response that I got out of releasing the actual EP to the response that I got to releasing the visual. And lots of people gravitate towards the visual, which is really interesting, and that's what I found out the most. But I obviously think that, people like to kind of see and, like, people listen to the EP and everything, and that was awesome. But I got a lot of, like, you can see how many people have viewed your video and stuff. And, like, obviously, like, that's something that I would look at because I want to know how many people are watching it. And I feel like a lot of people really took interest in the visual aspect of it. Yeah.
And then it's really weird because it sort of doesn't surprise me as well. Like that's like people like to consume their information that way.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, especially now on YouTube, now that everybody's got smart TVs where it just auto plays, like people get stuck in that rabbit hole, and then they'll hear a video clip, and if they like it that much, they'll then go seek out the rest of your project.
Yeah, yeah. And it is a good promotional sort of like a tool to use, absolutely. You know, and like with people sharing it around and stuff, like people are gravitated more to a visual, but once they see the visual, they're more inclined to kind of maybe listen to your EP, listen to the music.
That's the hope, anyway.
That's the hope.
Yeah. No, but that's really interesting that like you notice that. And do you have any idea of to why it's just that's how the cookie
I just
crumbled?
think, honestly, it's like the day and age we live in. People like watching stuff.
Yeah, they do.
So I don't know. Like I think that's just honestly the day and age we live in, and you know. It is what it is.
That's like, and it's true. But I guess that's another learning point for you as well.
Yeah.
And then you think about that for when you get ready to drop your next project.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, video clips are the way to go.
100%. And that's kind of exciting because, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just go ahead and... so last weekend, I shot my new video clip.
Oh, yeah, I saw little snippets of this. I was going to wait, but I was like, we're here now. So it's like, go
that's
for
the
it.
thing. I was like, yep. So, yeah, I have a project that like I haven't like another release coming out, just a single. It's probably honestly my favorite one yet.
Interesting.
And we shot this visual last weekend with the most amazing team that I have honestly ever worked with.
Shout out your team real quick. Who are they?
So we've got Jeffrey Jordan was in the music video.
Oh, and that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
That's how I saw. He put up a story, and I was like, "Ain't that?" I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Oh, fair enough."
Aaron Carino, so he filmed it.
Yeah, Eric.
Eric's friend.
Yeah, he praises about him.
Yeah. Oh, he's absolutely like insane. Like he's so humble, and he filmed my Heat of the Night video. But we stepped it up this time. Like I'm so excited.
True.
One of my best friends, Rachel Joseph. So. She had so much input into the concept behind the whole video. So I went in and had all my concept ideas and everything. And we sat down together. And this was the night before we shot the video. We sat down together and we were kind of discussing all the concept ideas and everything. And she was like, what's the song about? And blah, blah, blah. And so we went through it all. And she's like, okay, no. She's like, I love your concept ideas, but this is what I visualize. And she's a creative herself. So I just sat there and I was like, girl, like you just tell me. You tell me everything that you see and that you want. And so she told me everything, and she changed the whole video around as to what she thought. And because like I trust and respect her vision, like she's an artist.
Yeah,
so like I respect her opinion so much. And everything that she was saying was like, you know, spot on to what the song was about, but more in like she listened to the song and knew what it was about and had such a vision of making it like visually what the song was about, not just me singing in a room. Like when you see the video, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah.
So she had a massive input into the whole concept idea behind it. Lisa Mitrov, she did my hair, makeup, and she was like a director on the day. Like she's like an actress, and like she's amazing.
Yeah.
And she kind of like, there was a little bit of acting that went behind the scene, like not behind the scenes, but there was a bit of acting that went into the video. And she, obviously coming from like an acting background, sort of kind of like, you know, told me what I need to be expressing on my face, and like, you know, she directed a lot. Okay. So that was amazing. So it was all those people, really, really good friends of mine, which was perfect. So I was very comfortable in my, you know, in the space that I was in.
I was going to say that would have helped the whole process just run so much smoother.
Like Jeff's a really, really good friend of mine, and like you'll see in the video that like, you know, if I did that with a stranger, it would have been like, But because I'm such good friends with him, like it was really comfortable, and I was just surrounded by really beautiful people that really, and I really appreciated their ideas and what they brought to the table. It was more of a team thing more than just my own thing. Do you know what I mean?
It's so important as well.
Yeah.
And then I think, if my memory serves me correctly, but Jeffrey has a film clip, and didn't Ace shoot that?
Yeah. Oh no. That was Aldwin that shot that music video.
Okay. But you were in it as well.
I
so
was
you've
in that
already
too.
got
So
that.
I was like, hey, I was in yours, so you can be in mine.
Yeah. Well,
Which is really cool. And he was so down for that, and he was amazing. Like, he's so amazing. Like, he's acting and just he was really really good. So I'm
like,
really excited for that.
yeah. Oh, like we can't wait till when
Yeah.
it drops. When it drops, obviously now you've come through here, we'll
Yeah.
share absolutely everything
Yeah.
around as well.
Yeah.
But I guess that leads me to it. Like, how did you get into music? Like, when did you know that was for you?
Yeah. So, I guess kind of cliche, but like obviously when I was younger, I would just sing randomly in the car. I actually, my mum used to say that I could not sing
Your mum?
at all. Like, I would try and belt it out in the car to the radio, and she'd be like, she would never tell me, but like now that I'm older, she was like, girl, you could never sing. And then I kind of just like kept doing it and kept doing it. And like my mum and my dad were both like, they could both sing and like quite musical and everything.
Okay.
So I kind of just like, dad would like play keys and I'd like try and sing. So that was kind of like where it all sort of started. And I like did like Johnny Young Talent Time and like little,
Wait, you did what, sorry?
dancing. Johnny Young Talent Time, like
No.
dancing and singing school.
Oh, okay. No, I
For a
didn't know
little
that
bit.
was a
I was
thing.
like really, really young.
How old were you when you did that?
Oh, I was probably like maybe 7
Oh,
or something,
oh.
like quite young. But I didn't do that for a great deal of time, just quite like a little bit. And then kind of, so I've always sung and I've always loved it and loved music. And like when I was a little girl, my dream was to be a famous singer and everything. And then I kind of hit high school and I did like vet music. And I was a part of that. But at that time, I was kind of like, a teenager and I was quite shy back
True.
then. I was like, very reserved, quite shy, wasn't very sure of myself.
Okay.
So I think
And what time period was that again, sorry?
So that was like year 11, 12.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2010 and 2011. I wasn't very sure of myself and didn't really know what I was capable of or what I could do and wasn't very confident. And like my teacher at the time like really pushed me and was kind of like, you are really good, you can do this. But I kind of was like, yeah, whatever. Like I still did it, but I was just still like I'd be behind the microphone and like wouldn't move and I'd be very shy and everything.
But then everybody
and
has
then-
to start there as well.
Yeah,
so at least you got to
exactly.
deal with it in those.
At that
yeah.
early age.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then way fast tracking, 2016. So that was 3 years ago.
Yep.
I did my first ever big show, which was Royalty.
The first one?
The first Royalty.
Really?
Yeah. That was,
I was at that too and I just...
No way.
No, I'm not going to lie. I've got no memory. Like the only thing I
It was
remember...
obviously not that good.
No. It had nothing... No, I was like... That was a different time period for me. Like
Yeah,
I wasn't
that's
like
cool.
in the best headspace.
Yeah.
And the only person I remember from that was Cody. And only because I didn't know he was a rapper. So I knew Cody like outside of that. Then all of a sudden
Yeah.
he stood on stage and it was the first person I recognized.
yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then because he was performing with Josh.
Yeah.
And then after that, my memory just went...
Yeah. So 2016, number one Royalty was like, that was it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I'm pretty good friends with all that crew.
Like the Bay City crew.
Yeah. Like I
Shout
kind
out
of
Nick and
like...
Marja.
Yeah. So...
Bay City. Just letting you know. Yeah, I was like, she really tiptoed around that one. I was like, oh, I swear. I was like, isn't your name even on? I was like,
So yeah, Royalty was like where it kind of really got serious for me. So Frankie, he approached me and he was like, T, like, do you want to perform? And I was like, oh, I don't know.
True.
Like, I don't know. Like, yes, I will do it. Because, obviously he knew that I sung and everything. And he was like, no, you need to do this. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And so, leading up to Royalty, so I think I went over to his house and we kind of talked about it and everything, and he was like, okay, we've got about 3 months, I'm organising this Royalty, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to do it. And so I had 3 months. I had never written a song in my life, I had
True.
never written a song.
Wait, so you said yes to it even without...
Yeah, I was like, yes, I'm there.
True.
I'm
You
doing
threw
it.
yourself in the deep
100%.
end.
I really did. But I was like, okay, I've got 3 months to prepare. I'm like, I've got this. So I can't, like I said yes. And I was like, yeah, 100%. Like I want to be a part of this. Like so many amazing people are going to be up there performing. It's organized by Frank. Like, yes, I'm going to do it. So I said yes. And then I was like, holy fuck. I went home and I was like, Jesus, I'm like, I've never written a song. Like I knew that the people that were performing, they all had written, they all had music, they all had been in this kind of industry for a while, and here's me like, holy shit, like what am I gonna do? So I kind of actually took that and used that as a motivation. So I ended up writing 3 songs. 2 of them were absolute shit.
Did you perform them anyway?
I did. Yeah, 100%.
Wait, shout like,
yeah.
there's only one way to know
I
that.
was like, but like now I look back at it, I'm like, no, absolute shit. But like, that's okay. Like I did it. So one of the first songs I wrote was with JT, Jackson Tamati. So he is like honestly so talented. And I keep telling him, Jackson, if you're listening to this, you need to write because he's amazing. Like he's so good. So we wrote a song together and that was like a really upbeat, like really cool, like fun song, which is really cool. He kind of like had it written and then he was like, Tiara, like you need to write a verse to it. So I wrote mine and yeah, that was cool. And then Naki produced a track for me. He like did the backing track and I wrote to that and that was another song. And then I did Naki like made up another one and I like wrote with my good friend Tiaki. So I had 3 original songs that took a shitload of time because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never written in my life, but I'm going to make it happen. And then I did like a couple of covers as well. So and that for me was when I got really serious about music. I practiced every day. I like tried to write as best as I could with what I had and got up there and I had the best time of my life.
True.
Like it was honestly the most rewarding night that I probably have ever had because I had never written a song. I had never performed to an audience like that. But the support that I had around me with everyone there was incredible. And it was just an amazing feeling knowing that I'd worked so hard, got up on the stage and actually like performed to the best that I could. And I think that's when it kind of all came together for me and I was like, I'm going to do this. Like, this is what I want to do.
None of that, you've shown yourself that you can do this.
Yeah.
And then like you were given like a small time period, you would have been thinking, it's like, what would happen if I spent 12 months?
It was honestly like my mind was consumed for 3 months. It was all I would think about, like this one performance. But I was like, I'm going to do it. Like it's going to be the night that I'm like, okay, this is me. So yeah, it was good. It was fun. And yeah.
And take us forward from there. So what happened after 2016? Like,
So
for you musically?
after that, I was like, I've always kind of worked, 9 to 5 and everything like that. And I would talk to Frankie quite a lot and he kind of came to me and he was at Oxygen at the time.
So I was going to say, did you go to Oxygen too?
Yeah, so he was at Oxygen College at the time. And he called me up one day and he was like, T, like, I have an opportunity. Do you want to, like, you should do your music, like, full time. Like, and he was kind of always like, he was always so supportive of my music and really saw that I could do that as, like, my soul thing that I like. He really,
like it was your passion.
Like it
was your dream.
It is my passion and it is my dream. But he really like, I needed that push. So he came to me and he said, "Would Oxygen College be something that you would want to do? Would you want to study music? Would you want to do that? Would you want to go down that avenue? I really believe that you can, and I really think that you should." And I was like, "Well."
Yeah, Liam, just shut that.
I kind of didn't think at the time that I could actually do it because I was like, oh, like, I'm going to have to like leave work or like go down part-time and like it's not like the right thing to do. But I was like, you know what? I'm like, I thought about it and like, I was like, I'm 23 now. I'm like, by the time I finish this course, I'm going to be 25. And I'm like, and this is something that I really, really want to do. So I just was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. so something in my gut was really telling me to do it. And the fact that I had so much support around me and people saying that like you can do it was just like an extra push.
Was that same feeling in the gut the same feeling you had when Frankie asked you to do the royalty thing?
100%.
True?
Yeah, I really, really, he pushed me so hard. Like he was one of the people that was like, Tiara, like you can do this for yourself. You can do this for a living. He, you know, he said to me how much talent he saw in me, and it was just so nice to hear. Like, and that really did give me a push. And as well, my partner, he you know, would always say, oh, like, you're an amazing singer and everything. Like, why don't you do something? Like, don't waste it. Don't waste it. And I'd be like, yeah, like, I kind of am wasting it being in an office, not actually doing what I'm passionate about. So I think that, like, me taking that opportunity to go to school and do music was, like, the best thing that I've ever done. Yeah.
And then, like, not only that, you surround yourself with so many like-minded individuals
Yeah.
that I'm sure that, like,
Yeah.
you're still connected with to this day.
100%. Like everyone that was part of royalty, that's where it all began for me. And they're all like, we're all so tight now. Like, you know, there's people that have been like, you know, added on and stuff, but everyone is so, you know, passionate about it, so like-minded, and it's amazing. And I kind of don't feel like I'm on my own.
Okay,
If
which is
that
important.
makes sense, which is really important.
And then and that actually really makes a lot of sense from everything that you've said. Like Frankie being the first one to be like, look, this is really what you can do.
Yeah.
And your partner reassuring you.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, like you just turn around and you're like, I've got two people really backing me.
Yeah.
And it's like, if they really back me, why
Yeah.
am I not backing
And not
myself?
even like, you know, they were the key people to why I kind of thought, okay, fuck yeah, like I can do this. But it was as well like all the people that I was surrounded with, my friends and like, you know, everything, like they really thought that, yeah, I could do it. And so, yeah, I did.
And then the rest was history. Now here we are.
And here we are.
Snap.
So, yeah, no, it was good. It's good.
And what about the parents? Were they approving of you chasing your music dreams?
My mum, 100%. My mum is like an angel. She is. She's so supportive. Like my whole family, like my sister, she's a musician. She left high school and she studied music, moved up to Melbourne, and she's killing it at the moment.
Plug her if you want.
Tiara Ridwan. No, she's like amazing. So she was also a very big inspiration for me as well, because she left high school and went and moved up to Melbourne and did music and everything.
Was she older or younger?
She's younger than me, which was even more of a motivation for me
Mm-hmm.
to be like, Tiara, sort your shit out. Do what you want to do. Like, you can do this. Because if, you know, your little sister is like gone and done it, like that's a motivation for me to go.
Yeah, she really threw herself in the deep end.
Yeah, she did. And she's bloody, like, she's incredible. Like, I have a lot of respect for her, and I'm very, very proud of, you know, the artist. We're very different artists, like polar opposites, but she is incredible. So yeah, she was another big motivation. My mum has been always so supportive. Dad, yeah, like appreciates it. Maybe
Now?
doesn't see that I can do it like as like a full thing, but yeah, I mean he said he likes my music, so I guess like he likes it. But yeah, my
Which
mum,
is like all the encouragement that you get from a dad. It's like,
Yeah.
your shit's all right. You're like,
yeah.
thank you, Dad.
I mean, like he loves to lecture and stuff, but yeah, mum and my sister and my brother, they're my key. Like that's my family.
That's your support group.
That's my support group. That's everything that I need, and obviously like my close friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, and you need a support group like that, especially like just doing anything creative.
Yeah.
Because you have so many points of insecurity, so many points of like,
100%.
is this what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Like, am I doing the right thing?
And like leading up to like the EP, I would like write something and I'd send it to my sister and I'd be like, does this sound good? You know? And now I'm not like that. I'm sure of myself. But prior to me even like when I was starting out and like before I was releasing everything, I was like, I would send everything to my sister and be like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And like that was good to have her at that time to support me and to be like, yeah, it's cool, like, you know, or no, it's really crap.
Oh, so she would critique you,
100%
honestly.
she would. Like that's why I ask her things,
Yeah.
because she would give me the honest opinion. She would be like, no, I don't like it. It's shit.
Okay.
Or yes, it's really good. Go with that. Now I'm kind of learning to listen to myself. If I really like it and I think it's, good or whatever, I'm like, yes, I'll go with that. If I don't, yeah. So.
No, but that makes sense. Like, I'm sure that you probably adopt that same approach to other areas of your life as well. Like, you need to have that confidence about you in doing anything that you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have that confidence, it's like, people can almost see it.
People can see it.
Yeah, they're
100%.
like, do you really know what you're doing, or are
Yeah.
you just like here to try?
Yeah.
It's like,
and they can see, like, people can see right through you. Absolutely. But it's kind of like, it's good. It's you kind of grow, and I've learnt to be more sure of myself, and I am more confident in myself. I think it's kind of like the more you do things, the more sure of yourself you get.
that's what I was going to say.
And it comes with experience.
Yeah, so I was like, so what ways did you learn that to become more sure of yourself? Like, what did you have to do to find that?
It was all internal. Like, everything is internal. Like, all the stuff that if I would question myself, that's not coming from anyone else. That's coming from my own insecurities. That's coming from things, my own self-doubt. You start doubting yourself, and then, you keep doing that, and then all of a sudden you're like, shit, I can't do this. I'm like really shit. I'm like so bad. So you kind of just have to really battle that with yourself and get yourself out of that mentality and be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm really good. I'm confident. I'm good at what I do. And you kind of really, it's like a mental battle. It really is. And you just kind of got to sit there and really get yourself out of that negativity and out of that mindset that, you're not good enough, or you're shit, or you don't know enough, or whatever. You've really got to try hard to kind of get yourself out of it. And I did. I got myself out of it. And then I kind of thought, you know what? I kind of arrived at a place where I was like, who cares what anyone thinks? Fuck it. Like, if they don't like it, whatever. Like, honestly, I love what I do, and I'm just going to continue to do that. People can love it. People can hate it. People can have bad thoughts, good thoughts. I don't care.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a thought towards you. So you're just like, thank you for a little bit of attention.
Yeah.
But that's really interesting. Like, how did you learn that? Did somebody have to show you, or is that just something you figured out for yourself?
I think that as you kind of get older, you kind of start learning. I don't know, it's a hard one. Like, I think that you kind of realize that, the more you think about what other people think of you, and the more that you get into a headspace where you think that, you might be bad at what you do or anything, it kind of it's your own worst enemy. Like, if I kept thinking like, oh my God, what is this person going to think of me? Or what if, being in that negative mindset, if you stay in that, I'm not going to be creating the best work that I can create. If I get myself out of that mindset, then I'm going to, for example, I was so anxious about releasing the EP. I could have just not done it because I was so anxious about it and cared what everyone else thought. But I decided to just do it. And it was the best thing that I ever did. Do you know what I mean?
I get you. And it's and it's not until you do it when you realize all that that negative self-talk that you were given, you're just it almost reassures you, because you can almost go back in there and be like, see?
Yeah.
I told you all to be quiet.
And it was all in my head. You know what I mean? It was all in my head. I was the one telling myself, you're not good enough, or what if people think it's shit or whatever. But as soon as I removed myself out of that negative space, I kind of was like, you know what? I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to be positive about it. I'm going to look at the positive side of it and focus on that. And I think that's why I got so much goodness out of my release, because I chose to focus on the positive rather than the negative. Yeah. And
that's so real, because it's so important as well. And because it doesn't matter what you do. You can do anything, and if you think just negatively about it, nothing's going to happen. And it's not until you switch that around, and so many people have to learn that the hard way, which I guess is just another part of life. You have to overcome it.
Yeah. And I think that everyone kind of overcomes that and deals with that in their own time. Everyone's kind of got a timeline where they realize
they've got their timeline.
Yeah.
It's you could have experienced that at a younger age, you could have experienced it at an older age, but it doesn't matter, because that was important for you.
Yeah, and that was what I went through. That's my story. So, yeah.
That's true. And then, and I guess we were talking about it before briefly, but you went over to Indonesia.
Oh, yeah.
Have you tried to put your music over there? Because that would be
Nah.
pretty smart. It's a massive population.
yeah,
Don't
like-
sleep on it.
Yeah, we were talking about, having a little discussion before. So, yeah, when I was growing up, I kind of moved everywhere, here, there, and everywhere. And yeah, like Indonesia, like my dad's Indonesian.
Yeah.
So I went over there. It wasn't quite a year. It was about maybe like 6 months or something. We went over there as like a family, and yeah, I was over there and I met like some family on his side and everything, and looked into schools and stuff over there.
What did you plan to live there for a little
Yeah,
bit?
we planned. I don't know what they planned. But
Oh, like,
they
planned it all,
I
yeah.
think they planned to live there for quite a while. So we went and like looked at like international schools and stuff, like American
True.
type schools over there. I just have a really vague memory of being over there and doing that and being friends with like the local kids and playing with like cats and stuff.
Playing with cats.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
it's-
my
yeah,
memory.
Like,
That's
it's just
my
like
memory, yeah.
stray cats.
So yeah, no. I went there when I was young. We were going to live there when we were a family, and then kind of obviously like things happen and stuff, and we ended up. The last time I went over there was for a holiday with my mum and my partner and my brother and sister. We went to Bali, so it hasn't really been like a. It's kind of been more of a holiday more than anything. But yeah, definitely would love to get my music international.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
you
sick.
need to. And especially like when you're international, it's like take advantage. Take advantage.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. If I could try and get my music out to, other countries, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, like, that'd be the ultimate win.
yeah.
No. And and I guess going there for a holiday, like you need to reward yourself as well.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing over there for a holiday.
No, that like I don't know, that's really important.
Yeah.
Like all of it. Like just the fact that you need to give yourself this positive talk in order to get anything done. Like and it's a credit to yourself as well to have found that all like from the sounds of things on your own.
Yeah.
Like there are so many people like young boys, young girls that just don't have anyone to turn to for that sort of advice. So the
Yeah.
fact that there are like examples like yourself where people can look at and copy that same thing, like I'm sure to be an inspiration to many. And then it's just that's the thing that people aren't really aware of and they're not sure about it unless it's people like you that have the confidence to come forward and actually speak about those instances,
Yeah.
which allows everybody else to learn.
Yeah.
So it's like that's something to be proud of. And
Thank you.
from the music that I've heard that you've done, it resonates through your music. So like that confidence just doesn't come from nowhere.
Yeah.
Otherwise
and I
people
think
would
it's
see it.
something that, I think it's something that's like kind of learnt. Like I know there's confident people and there's like shy people and everything. I definitely was always a shy girl and I still am in some like senses. But for some reason music kind of like, I don't know, I've learnt that it kind of brings out like the best in me. If that
Interesting.
makes sense. Yeah.
Well, it gives you that other leg of confidence.
I don't know. Like for example, when I'm on stage, if I meet someone new for the very first time, people think like I'm a bitch, but really I'm not. I'm actually just super shy.
True. Or for everybody that she's met previously. Now
true.
you know.
It is true. Like I get that all the time. Oh, when I first met you, I thought you were a bitch.
True.
That's not it. I'm not judging. I'm not a bitch. I'm actually a really nice person. I'm super shy.
Yeah.
But the difference is like when I get on stage, everything just like, it just disappears. Like my shy, like I just feel like, I don't know, like I get my sass on and like it's all cool. Like that's my space. That's where I'm happy and that's where I like to kind of like express myself. And I think that music for me is like that's kind of like an escape. Like as cliche as that sounds, it is. It's like an escape for me. And it's where I can be like my confident self and I'm happy and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of why I was like put here.
Okay.
Honestly, like it sounds kind of really cliched, but it honestly, that's how I felt. Since I was little, I was like, yeah, music.
But you know what's so funny? It all makes sense. Like you said, your dream was to be this.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you've like had a gut feeling twice in your life about particular instances and you trusted your guts with that and you've achieved things where all of it just makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Like you were able to believe in yourself that long ago and the fact that you've maintained that belief in yourself, it's led you to drop an EP. You've already got one music video out. There's another on the way. It's like...
And it's exciting. Like, I'm so excited. Like, the fact, like, if I just keep doing this, like, I'm I'm going to be so happy at the end of the day. And that's just what keeps me going. I don't care if I'm like out there making like hundreds of millions and I'm like famous or anything, like that would be great. But if I am literally just out there doing something that I love, I'm writing, I'm putting music out there and people are reciprocating it and appreciating it and all that stuff, I am like whole. Like I feel like I'm here doing what I was supposed to do. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think that's the trick of life. We all have to figure out, like, what we're supposed to do.
Yeah,
So the fact that
yeah.
you found yours, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, do it.
And I feel grateful that I know exactly what I'm passionate about and what I feel like I was put on this earth for. Not everyone knows that about themselves. So I feel grateful that I do know that's why I feel like I'm here.
Yeah, well, you were just fortunate enough to find it. So it's like, you can't, like, you have to be
And
grateful.
I can't ignore it. Like,
No, you can't.
that's what I love to do. So,
And then that, when you try to ignore things like that, like, the universe has a funny way of just, like, bringing that back to your face. It's
it
like,
really
no,
does.
do this, do
yeah,
this.
and you have to listen to that.
You do.
Like, I'm so huge on listening to, like, listening to the universe and all its signs and, like, what you put out to the world and everything. Like, I think that, yeah, you definitely have to listen to that and be true to yourself. Because otherwise you can waste so much time doing something that you think is right because society thinks it's right. And I have wasted a little bit of time doing that. But I kind of like just flipped it around and I was like, no, I'm going to not do that. Because I know so many people that have just been like, okay, I'm going to stick at this job. I'm going to do this 9 to 5 because society thinks I should. I'm going to have a baby. I'm going to get married. And like, and if that's what you want to do, 100%, like you go for that. I'm not judging anyone that wants to do that. But don't think that you have to do that because you don't, Like,
and none of that, like, it comes back to that, like, voice in your head almost. Who's telling you to do that? Like, I could be wrong, but is there someone that's come across your life? It's like, you have to have a baby. You have to get married. You have to work a 9 to 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's just, no one's really out here saying that to us.
Definitely not. And that's like, there's no rules to live by. And I think that's kind of prior to me deciding that music is really something that I want to do. I was kind of like surrounded by people that were stuck in that mindset. Like, you need like a real job, a 9 to 5. You need to like do this, this and this. And I'm like, oh my God. And then when I kind of broke away from that, when I decided to study music, I was like, okay, like I can... It took a lot to break away from that whole mindset, being surrounded by people that thought that music wasn't like a sustainable, thing to do, wasn't the right thing to do. That was hard for me to kind of break away from that. But like at the end of the day, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, like, yeah.
And then not only that, when you step away, it's almost the biggest, like, breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh.
So good.
Yeah, you're like, I can actually breathe again. Like, I don't have like 57 people telling me it's like, this is what I need. Like, da-da-da-da-da. Like, I'm just doing my own thing.
Yeah.
You take your time.
Yeah. And I took control out of like what I wanted to do. Like, okay, I wasn't earning like as much money as I was previously working a 9 to 5 every day, but I stood away and I was like, okay, I haven't got as much money, but I've literally got my like happiness. Like, I was like, this is sick. I'm waking up every morning. I'm like going to like music school and writing and learning and all that stuff. And I wanted to learn and I was happy and it was awesome. And the people that kind of, was surrounding me saying, oh, like, they never really said it, but I could tell.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I could tell. They'd be like, oh, so what are you doing with music? Like, well, what job is that going to get you? And I'm like, you don't get it. Like, it's not a job that I want. It's like, this is my passion. Like, this is me. This is what I want to do. It's not about the certificate at the end of the day and like making me like a music teacher. It's
it's like, if I were aspiring to be a music teacher, it's like, would I be doing that here?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's funny.
No, but like, I don't know, all that's so true. And for the people that can figure that out, like, it's just credit to you. And then like, that's been the best thing from everybody that's sat in the position you've been sitting in. Like, everybody shares that same belief.
Yeah.
They're like, do whatever you love. And when you find whatever you love, like, double down on it. Because once you have that, no one can take it away.
100%. And that's why it's so amazing to be, obviously I said before, to be surrounded by like-minded people that all, if I didn't have that support group around me and those people that were in the same mindset, it would be so much harder. But because there are people that actually get me and get, why I'm doing this and like, I get them, like, it's just awesome because, yeah, I don't feel like alone completely, like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, everyone, a lot of people, like, you know the people I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of these people, like, they're doing it. So to the general public, it may seem crazy and stupid and like, why are they doing that? Why aren't they working and getting a job and buying a house and stuff? But we get it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're going to be the ones that are going to be like, told you so.
Like, hopefully.
We're a fucking, no, it'll happen.
Yeah,
like, we're on
no, it
TV
really
right
will.
now.
It
And you're
really
going to sit
will.
back in your house that you're paying like
No, that
millions
you're
of-
still paying
that
for.
you're still paying for.
Yeah.
Like, owing money to the bank. And we're going to be on TV and you're going to be like, oh, fuck. Like,
Well, fuck. I
I'll
hope
be
that
like-
happens to you, and I hope that happens to me, and I hope that happens to
It'll
Liam,
happen, it'll
and I hope that
happen.
happens to Andy
It'll
as well. No, but then I know what you mean, and it's sort of, it's harsh reality sometimes, because, like, just speaking for myself, like, when I, like, pretty much threw away everything I do to do this, like, my mum was like, what the fuck? I was like, Mum, trust me.
Trust me. And
Yeah, I was like, trust me. And she's like, well, you don't listen to me anyway, so it's like, good luck. But then the amount of people around you that, like, have something to say about it, and you're just like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I love doing it.
100%.
Like,
And that's the thing, at the end of the day, like, another cliche, but life is honestly too short. Honestly too short to not do something that you absolutely love. If you're waking up every day, 100%. Our man Frankie, like, he prime example. He lived his life to the utmost. He was so full of life and he always drilled it into everyone's heads. If you're not doing something that you're passionate about and that you're happy about, why are you here? We could die tomorrow. And that's exactly what he said in one of his videos. We could die tomorrow. And if you're not doing something that you're happy about, then what the fuck is the point?
straight up.
And that's why I take so much appreciation and talk so much about him in my whole experience of doing music, because he honestly was like such an impact into why I was like, fuck yeah, like, you know, motivational Frank, like that was him. And he honestly, like, he
believed it.
he did it and he believed it, and it was true, and it is true. Like, if you know, like, if you're not honestly doing something that you love when you wake up every morning, what's the point?
Unless, like, you're locked
Like,
in.
I know, like,
yeah.
I understand you have to work, like,
Yeah.
to get money. Like, obviously, I work to get money.
But then you can do
But-
things, you can change your bills.
Yeah.
Like, there's,
well,
like,
yeah, you can
like,
adapt.
you can
know?
definitely change
I
it.
mean, like, I like to spend money a lot, so, like, you know, adapting's hard, but it can be done, you know, and I'm still doing what I absolutely love, even though I've got, like, a job, you know. But, yeah, it can be done, and that's the thing. I don't want any younger person or anything going through life thinking that they have to be a lawyer or they have to be a doctor or they have to go through uni or whatever. Find out what you're passionate about, what you love doing, and make that your life and make that your career and make it that you make money out of it, because you can do it, you know?
Especially the world that we live in these
Yeah.
days. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
2019, so you're no middleman. Like, if you have some cool shit and you think
Yeah.
it's worth some money,
Yeah.
put that somewhere, and someone will probably think it's cool, and they'll give you money for it. And, like, there's so many different, like, there's
Yeah.
so many different places
Yeah.
to do that. And it's funny that you bring that up, because I was talking to Liam today about it, and he's like, I fucking hate a 9 to 5. I could never do it. I'm like, well, bruv, make sure all the work you put in to absolutely everything you do is perfect, so that other people can see that you're serious about what you're actually trying to achieve as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the biggest trick.
And that's the thing, like, you know, you don't want to wake up every morning going, oh, I gotta work. I go to work. I can't wait for the weekend. Like, you know, people do it. I do it sometimes, you know. But at the end of the day, like, that's not a way to live. You want to wake up and you be like, yes, I'm motivated for today. I want to do this. This is what I'm going to do, blah, 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 blah. You don't want to wake up every day going, oh, God, I can't wait for Saturday. Like, you know, because
Yeah, living for the weekend.
in reality, like, you might not be here tomorrow. And you don't want to remember your life going, oh, fuck, I can't wait for the weekend. Like, I've got another 3 days of this shit.
But then you know what's even sadder than that? Like, it only just occurred to me then. But imagine if you've got 60 more years of those days.
Yeah, right?
How depressing
know.
would that be? If I'm sitting here saying it now, I'm like, fuck my
I
job.
know,
Like,
I
in 60
know.
years' time, I'm
But
still
there are
waking up,
people like
fuck my
that.
job.
There are people like that. And, like, I get it. You have to pay your bills. I totally get that. But like try and do something that you love,
Or
because
just change your bills.
you can or just change your bills. There's things that you can do. There's ways around it. It can be done.
Yeah, but like just no, but that like it's important. Like what you just said, you should be waking up like that. And if you're not waking up like that, then that's probably a time to go back and reflect.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
And
definitely.
it looks like it can be different for everybody. So
Yeah.
it's like whatever you want to do, just do what you want to do and just love doing it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's real.
yeah.
So what's next for Tiara?
What's next for me? So what's next for me? I am planning to release a single, as I said, probably my most favorite one yet, and a sneaky visual to come, obviously. And yeah, I honestly at the moment I'm just doing a whole heap of writing. Once I've done that, I'll do a whole heap of recording and then have some other projects lined up ready to release. Obviously, in the summertime, I want to be gigging a little bit more because summertime is prime time for gigging. So I want to be doing that.
Well,
Plus,
the
I love
opportunity to
summer.
plug yourself. Like if you can book people in for shows and you need a female
100%.
alternative R&B,
Hit me up.
bang.
Yeah, no, 100%. So yeah, I want to be doing heaps more gigs in summer. I'm a summer baby, so like I hibernate in winter. That's pretty much where I do like all my writing, and in summertime, bang. So that's what I plan to do, and just work on a whole heap of new releases. As I said, now I'm like got that EP out. I'm more motivated now to just push out more music, more music, more music. So yeah, that's my plan.
Not only that,
Yeah.
people have a want too. Like
Yeah.
you put your old project out, people
Yeah.
are like, this was dope, but like,
And I want to step
What else
up
we
like
got?
every time. So I'm excited for that. It'll be really good. But now I just feel like every time I release something, I'm going to step up, step up, step up. So
well, we'll never lose
Yeah.
that feeling because
Yeah.
that will keep you on your toes and that will
100%.
ensure that every time you put out something, it's even better than the last.
yeah,
Even if that's only noticeable by you,
yeah.
as
Yeah.
you're aware of, you're the only person that matters. So it's like,
Exactly. Yeah.
as long as you're happy about it, you're happy about it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but that again, it's sick. And not only that, you're consistent with it as well. So it's good that you put out a project, you put out a visual,
Yeah.
and you've already even though that it's still like hot because it's still recent, but you're already working on the next
Yeah.
stuff.
And that's what I wanted. I want content there to, to just keep going. I don't want to die down and then no one listens to me and they're like, hey, it's me again. I
Yeah.
want to try and keep that ball rolling and keep people listening and, and yeah,
Well, you're definitely a woman with a plan. So good luck with that.
Thank you.
Good luck with that.
thank you.
But I guess now we're at that time of the show, and I wonder, Tiara, if you were told one thing as a youth, what do you wish that could be? And I screwed that up. I don't know how I did that. I don't even remember the question I asked. I was just like, huh? Oh, no. If there was one thing you wish you were told as a youth, what would that be? Oh, I fucked it up again.
No, you didn't. That was
I know.
fine.
Is that what,
That was
I don't
good.
know.
If you could,
I don't know.
No, that was fine.
Yeah.
Try again if you want to.
No. I'm not running it back 3 times.
Are you sure?
I don't even remember, oh, no. What's one thing you wish you were told as a youth? 3rd time lucky. I don't know how, I was like...
So one thing that I wish I was told as a youth. Okay. There's a couple of things. So one, do not give a fuck what anyone else thinks of you.
Fuck it all.
Thanks. Thanks, Andy.
That was my
It's not a different kind of genius episode if Andy doesn't yell some shit out. So it's so take us back, number one.
So number one, don't give a shit what anyone thinks of you. Be sure of yourself, be confident, know who you are, and who cares? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. Honestly, I learned the hard way. I really did. And now I'm at the point where I don't care. Things are happening for me. So it's good. Number two, don't think that you have to stick to that common 9 to 5 house, baby, kids, all that stuff. Yes, it's good to have that. And if you want that, that's great. But don't think that if you're a creative, for example, don't think that you have to do everything by the books. If you are a creative and you think that going down that avenue of being an artist or a musician or whatever isn't going to pay the bills or anything, just stick at it, because at the end of the day, your happiness means more than anything else. And for me, that's true. Like, honestly, if you just want to go and do your music and be creative and do that, 100% go for it, no matter what anyone thinks and no matter what anyone tells you. Do that. Yes, you will have to have a job to pay the bills on the side, but stick to that. Always stick to that. I think that, like, obviously going into it properly when I was like 23, like, I know it's young, but you know, oh my God, Billie Eilish, for example, she's like 16 and she, like, if I had time to go back and be that sure of myself, I would, like, yeah, kill to imagine what I would be now. But, you know, just who cares what anyone thinks, what common society thinks. Go for it, do it. If you love it and you're happy, do it. That's where, yeah, that's it.
No, that was well done.
Yeah.
No, like, and it's the truth.
It's
like,
true. That's just what I've learned, like, in the past few years. Yeah, it sounds, you know, but yeah, 100%. That's what I would tell myself as a youth.
which is important. And then, like, you can't look at Billie like Eilish and say things like that, because at least you found that within yourself.
Oh yeah, that's
So
just
it's
like a little example.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, yeah, if I knew what I knew now so many years ago, yeah, I don't know. Like, obviously, I'm not going to change what I've gone through for the world, but yeah,
You do a little
back
bit better.
then. Yeah, like back then I didn't have the confidence and the reassurance and everything that I needed, which is why I kind of started later. But yeah, if I was a youth and I was telling myself to do something, it would be, who cares what anyone thinks? You don't need to be a doctor. You don't need to be this. Just follow what you love and do it and go hard at it and work hard at it, because it's hard work, but you just got to do it. And if you love doing it, it won't feel like hard work. You know what I mean? So...
But everything you pick in life, it's going to be hard work.
Exactly.
Like, be a doctor. Like, the amount of hours you spend studying, it's probably the amount of hours that you spent in a studio. Like, so it's the same shit.
Exactly.
So just do
It's
what
the
you want to
same.
do.
Yeah. Just as long as you're waking up happy every day, doing what you love, do it.
100%. But, Tiara, tell the people where they can find you.
Oh. You can find me Facebook. So my Facebook page is Tiara, capital TIARA. My Instagram is Tiara Music, and I have a YouTube channel now, which my new video will be uploaded onto. So that is just Tiara, I think. So yeah.
Do we have a date for maybe when?
Instagram.
I'll keep you posted on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah.
Wait, but for the meantime, you've already got stuff out there, so
I
go
have.
watch that.
Yeah, so search me on Spotify, Tiara. My EP is called Heat of the Night. Follow me, listen to my stuff. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. If not, it's okay.
Because she doesn't give a fuck, so it's like, it doesn't matter. No, it's real. You've taught us a lot. You've taught us, like, trust your guts, follow it. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, because at the end of the day, they're not you.
Yeah.
And if you have any thoughts inside your own head telling you not to do something, that's just yourself.
Yeah.
So just tell it to be quiet
Yeah.
and move accordingly.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
No, it's real. Do you have anything else to say to the people?
Not really. I feel like I've covered everything. Just, yeah, go for it. Do it. Love it. Enjoy it. It's fun. And that's about it.
That's it.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, like, Tiara, thank you again for coming down. Like,
You're welcome.
you've done, like, a lot of great things, and you're able to, like, tell us about those great things as well. And I'm sure you would have been a good role model for those that are struggling with your same thing, trying to do the same things you're doing. Because we've all got thoughts like that.
Yeah.
And it's just different when you don't hear somebody doing what you want to do talking about that as well. Like, because when it comes to social media, we just all post the wins and shit. Like, people would look at you and they think, you wouldn't think like that. All of a sudden, it's like, no, the reason that you can carry yourself the way you are is because of everything that you've dealt with and the things that you've had to teach yourself so you can do those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the whole point of this. So we can all
100%.
learn from each other. It's,
Yeah.
fuck it. It's
And
what we
everyone's
do.
on their own journey. So, yeah.
Yeah, so stay in your lane and, like, play your journey. It's like, don't try and play mine. Don't try and play Liam's. Don't try and play
Yeah.
Tiara's. Andy.
No one could could do me.
No one could do Andy. No one could do Andy.
Just real quick, if you could collaborate with anyone, who would you collaborate with?
Oi!
All right. Now they're listening. Well, I'll repeat that
But
again.
I can't just like,
Australian?
I can't just
And then the
narrow
rest of the
it
world
down
as
to one. So, I
Tell us them all
mean,
then. Wait, you answered the question with multiple answers. Just keep going.
Can I though? All right. So like, obviously, I don't know. Like you guys probably haven't, but maybe Kaylani.
Oh, come
Have
on.
you seen her perform?
Bruh, that's No, I'm looking at him like I'm trying to bounce off him. No, I know who that is.
Yeah. So she is like,
Yeah.
honestly, like
She's
her-
Deja YG.
She is. Have you? If you've seen her perform, like, okay, I would totally collaborate with her, perform with her, 100%. Who else? Janae Aku, love her, amazing, so good, such a vibe. Who else? I love Georgia Smith at the moment.
Oh my
Sabrina,
God.
Claudio, Sinead Harnett. I have so many. Just get them all in one room.
Georgia Smith.
Goddess.
Jesus.
Right?
Jesus.
Right?
Like, her music abilities, like,
Insane.
Rihanna, you better get out of the way.
Oh,
say
I've
it
been
right
rereading
now.
that. She's like, yeah.
Yeah, but like, no, Georgia. Like,
She's my OG.
that's what's
Riri.
next.
I love her.
True.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've completely forgot about her, but yeah, sorry. Yeah, definitely. I have so many. Georgia, if you're listening, let's do it.
Georgia, you heard the woman. Get at it. Like, wait, Andy's in the background too. He can make that happen. Just get at one of them.
100%. So that's what I mean. Like, surrounded by everyone that can do it. So, yeah.
They're people you have to surround yourself with if
Yeah.
you're trying to do shit. Otherwise, you're not going to do nothing.
Exactly.
No, but thank you so much for coming down
Thank
as
you
well.
for having me. I appreciate it.
No worries at all. No worries at all. But I guess that's it for Different Kind of Genius this week. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for Tiara for pulling up.
You're welcome.
Thank you for Andy for being quiet in the background.
Eating chicken.
People are going to be confused. They're going to be like, was he here or was he not here? Nah, but that's it for the day. Stay safe. Peace out. One love. Liam, you know what to do. And Tiara, I'll come hug you, but just put that out of your way. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
He's tall.
Yeah, I know, I'm not small.
All right.